Hey there, here are the latest updates. If you are flying this summer, the summer travel season means airline disruptions for passengers. So these new updates will help you be prepared for any flight, but you will be very relieved with a few of the summer changes for air travel. Since weather delays are the most common cause of flight delays or cancellations, here are some travel tips of what you can do as an airline passenger this summer. Number one, you can look up this website, which may give you potential updates for that particular airport. But my number one tip to help you even more is to make sure you have downloaded your Airline's app. Another important tip for having your Airline's app is that it will most likely tell you where your airplane is parked at, so you can check it right before you leave for the airport. Because the day before when you check in, they may have changed parking spots for that airplane for that day. You should also download the airport app because of two reasons. One, if you need to know where Uber or shared driving companies park, or number two, if you need to know how to get to the rental car area. Another thing passengers can do to help themselves if there is a delayed flight is to pack in a compression cube in the bottom of your personal item bag these essentials. A couple of t-shirts to get you through a few days, and some undies and socks maybe. For flight delays this summer, I recommend you looking up Minute Suites, and they have little rooms that you can rent by the hour. These individual suites are private and quiet. I have a whole video reviewing their rooms, and some rooms have access to restrooms equipped with showers and other travel amenities. Another summer update, since many of you have not traveled in a long time, and that is the airlines are going cashless or contactless. That means you can only use a credit card. When we did fly to Cancun this May, we were on United Airlines and we had to upload our credit card to that particular seat. So just know that if you're flying with family members. You have to do it before you take off. You cannot do it mid-flight. A shocking air travel update for this summer is how long the TSA pre-check lines were. The Transportation Security Administration had many officers at their checkpoints when I was flying through Houston's airport in May, but the pre-check line is the longest I have ever seen it. And you know how when you're going through security, like they have two officers checking your ID and your ticket, and so you've got two lines where one of the lines, they kept getting stopped because of all of the many passengers who now have clear. They're taking them to the front of that line. So be prepared for major lines in TSA PreCheck. Another update for TSA PreCheck is they are still in our airport, maybe it's because of the technology for screening, they are still making men take off their belts. As of May 14th, 2023, there were 2.5 million passengers who passed through TSA screening in all of the airports in the United States, and that is compared to 2.6 million in 2019. Another summer travel update is for airport security, not just TSA PreCheck. Your screening will be inconsistent throughout the United States airports because of technology. I will link a video that I made at the beginning of 2023 that tells you all of the awesome new technology that's out there and the bigger overhead bins that are out there in some airlines and in some airplanes. This new technology means that you may not have to take out your liquids bag at all, or you may not have to show your ticket to get through the airport security line. You just have to show your identification. One tip for coming back through Mexico to enter the United States is that we did not have to take off our shoes in security. And then another tip for entering the U.S. is that the State Department has dropped all testing requirements for entering the United States. One travel tip to remember for airport security is that in your airport this summer, you could have a different rule from one day to the next day. So just be prepared for inconsistency and you're going to be ready just in case the rule changes that day. A travel update for those people who have not flown in many years is that airlines board flights 20 to 45 minutes before it's supposed to take off. So if your flight takes off at 3 p.m., I would make sure I'm in the boarding area no later than 2:30 p.m. The 737 MAX airplanes are so incredibly long, as are many other airplanes now, that it takes about 20 minutes just to get everybody in and out of the airplane. So if you have a connecting flight, plan for 20 minutes just to get off the airplane sometimes. Summer airline travel delays can have a triple effect that may impact you as a passenger. Number one, we have already said that weather is the most often cause for delayed flights. And number two, pilots may time out for their work hours that day, and that is a rule from the Federal Aviation Administration, not their airline. But a tip to consider is that many airline pilots are supposed to be reporting for duty around an hour before their first flight takes off. And number three is a most recent update, and that is that because passengers are filling airplanes now, the demand has been up, so airlines are using almost every airplane that is available. So if there is a mechanical problem, there is not one waiting in the wing to replace that airplane. So that it's just so many reasons that your flight could be delayed. But an important summer travel update that was just announced by the FAA is that flights along the East Coast have more routes now that are faster and shorter, which will mean for you as a passenger that there are fewer delays along that East Coast, where there is so much potential for problems. I'm going to link that article down below in the description paragraph, which is right above the shirts that I designed for our channel. I am a Houston pilot wife, and I have traveled through at least 20 summers as a pilot's wife and have learned more tips for you that I'm going to share. Here is another update many of our community has noticed. That is, the overhead bins are filling up much faster. Now, I have a whole video that I will link for you up there that you can tap on at any time throughout this video. It's not going to go away. It just means that your bag may have to be checked last minute, which means it could get lost. And here are 3 tips to help you. Number one, pack a luggage tracker, but take it from me, do not forget to connect it with your cell phone so that you can track it. Number two, pack medicine and other essential documents inside your personal item bag so that they're on your person in case your luggage gets lost. And also make sure that you have your car keys in your personal item bag in case they lose your luggage. If you are renting a car at an airport this summer, I have a great video that I just released about how you can skip the line. When I went to Nashville, that line took people over an hour, and I know people in the comments will say that it took them over an hour to get their rental car, even though we put our information on the website, fill out everything before our flight. It is a free program, and you walk straight from your airplane to your rental car. And I tell you how to do that. It's very easy. But a tip for renting a car from an airport is, since we do not have to start the ignition with an actual key anymore, do not forget to take those keys out when you drop off your car after your vacation. I also just heard this year that Costco rents automobiles, so check that out if you are a Costco member. Here's an important summer packing tip for men. If you are the family member who will be wearing the wallet and having the car keys in your pocket and your wife's phone to take YouTube pictures in your pockets, make sure you pack shorts that have a belt, because my husband found out a couple of years ago that the stretchy ones, they don't stay up as easily because of all the heavy travel essentials in your pocket. The world's busiest airport is Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. I grew up there, and flying back there to visit means we have delayed flights arriving in Atlanta so often. If you are connecting through Atlanta Airport, there are 2 different locations of minute suites, if that would help. Here are 4 safety items to bring on your summer trip. Number 1, these soap sheets for your hand come in like a set of 30 in one little plastic container. And the reason I say this tip for summer travel is if the employee didn't show up for work that day, or if they haven't had time to replace the hand soap in the bathroom. And then another thing to pack is antibacterial wipes, because airline or the flight attendants are not passing them out as often anymore. Or you can pack this tray table cover. I know so many of my viewers here do not want to touch that airplane seat back pocket because of germs. So I found this, and I mentioned, and to give you more details, in my Amazon essentials for this summer travel. And for safety reason of every passenger in the airplane, make sure you have the battery part of your portable chargers in your personal item bag for the airplane in case your luggage does get checked last minute because of no room in the bins. Those things can explode because they have lithium batteries in them. Most airlines have capabilities to extinguish the fire, but that can delay so many flights. So be sure to have that done before you even get to the airport. And if you are traveling to a high pickpocketing area this summer, I have an anti-theft video with tons of tips that will help you. Full flights this summer mean tight airplane seat areas. So get these 4 items organized before the flight takes off. Have your book out in the airplane seat back pocket, your AirPods or headphones, your flap that's going to hold your phone or iPad so that you can watch the airplane entertainment system mid-flight, and a journal and a pen. I want you to take on that summer hang loose attitude when you are traveling, because there are 2 types of passengers who will be in the security line with you and maybe beside you in the airplane. The first kind of passenger that is going to be there this summer is the passenger who hardly ever flies or has never flown before. And the second passenger is family members and maybe kids who have never flown before. So those airport security lines are going to be slower. The person in front of you in line may move more slowly, or the person beside you in the airplane may just be annoying. But I want to remind us, for summer travel, we were once first-time airplane travelers, and we were once kids, or we once had kids. So that may help you be more patient. Here is a very important summer travel tip for inside the airplane. The pilots are going to turn on the seatbelt sign 30 minutes before departure. That means you can't get up, and then you've got to wait when they park for everyone to get off the airplane. And then you might be running to your next flight as well. So for domestic flights, go before 30 minutes before landing. And then for international, I would go an hour before you're supposed to land. The Transportation Security Administration website is fantastic, especially if you are looking for medicine and the rules for packing it. Go to tsa.gov and then scroll down to medical issues. I recommend calling them. I will try to find their number. I'm sure I have it, but it's on their website, and they do answer because I called them a couple of years ago. You may know this, but in the summer, airplanes and airports can be absolutely freezing cold, so pack a thin layer for either of those. Going through airport security in Mexico this past May, we did not have to take off our shoes. And I know many of my viewers have asked if we felt safe, and we felt very safe in Cancun. I'll be making a video, I think, about that, but we stayed in groups. We felt very safe in the Cancun airport and in our transportation and at our all-inclusive resort. My main tip is just to stay in high touristy areas. Here are 2 apps that may help you or the people who are picking you up at the airport this summer. Flight Radar will tell you exactly where the airplane is at that time. And then another app is Flight Aware. It lets you track any flight, but I recommend just having your own airline app as well. Some of the airlines have the up-to-the-minute status of that flight, but Flight Aware is very trustworthy. If you do need a mock walk through the TSA line to help you know what to expect before you get to the airport, I will list that video up here for you, as well as in the first comment and in the description information box. And I will list all of the other information in that first comment as well. If you also want 38 travel hacks, I think it's 38, but just a tip, I make up that number because there's so many travel hacks that some of you have shared with me and I have learned on my own. While you're watching this summer travel update video, I want you to look through the comments because our travel community is so helpful and they fly a lot and they're still watching my videos. But anyway, they will be a lot of help to you. For my Nashville trip, I found recommendations for restaurants and things to do from the comments because they were so much more up to date versus the video. I hope these tips will help you be prepared just in case you have any interruptions for your flights this summer. Thanks for your time. Have a great vacation.